London's Metropolitan Police have a reputation for being among the toughest cops in the country. And the cops in Hammersmith and Fulham are no exception. Their West London patch is a battleground for a war on crime, and they're winning.
On the floor now!
Their zero-tolerance approach
Any more playing up and you're going straight back on the floor.
has left drug dealers, robbers, and street gangs with nowhere to hide.
There's no greater buzz than putting handcuffs on someone who needs them on them and they don't like it because they're a baddie.
Foxtrot Tail 315, male detained.
Coming up, the drug squad finds an Aladdin's cave full of goodies allegedly bought with drugs money. A fight down the pub, but who hit who?
He never hit a bottle in a fight.
Look at him, look!
And racing cars on the streets of London.
I mean, I've seen some crashes in my time, but this is probably in about the top 5.
The West London borough of Hammersmith and Fulham has almost 200,000 residents. Fighting crime on this patch is a round-the-clock job, and on the front line are the officers of the Uniformed Response Unit, known simply as Team. It's early evening rush hour in West London, and a team unit has been called for urgent assistance.
We've got 10 drunks fighting outside the Goldhawk Road tube station just on our left. We've got some units already there. We're just making sure that everyone's safe at the moment.
Outside the tube station, a team are trying to control the fight, but 2 men and a woman still want to get at each other. One of the men seems out of control, so for his and the officer's safety, he has to be taken to the ground. Now the woman is in danger of being given the same treatment. Controlling drunks is not easy. It takes 4 officers to try and cuff him.
Release your arm, release your arm, release your arm! That's it.
With both men cuffed and restrained, the police have got to find out what happened.
And these two, like, whilst I've been stood here, he's punched him and he's pushed him on the floor. They'll both be arrested for a fray.
Just sit up and relax, all right?
The man has finally calmed down, but is now complaining that his cuffs are too tight.
We'll loosen them shortly, all right?
But too tight or not, he's nicked.
All right, mate, you're under arrest, all right? On suspicion of a fray. You don't have to say anything. The male in defence, do not mention. When questioned, somebody later on in court. Anything you do say, maybe give an evidence.
While the man is being searched in the police van, the other male involved decides now's the time to declare his undying love for his girlfriend.
Yeah, I love you too, girl. Be careful, yeah? Yeah, I hope so, babe.
But it might be some time before this man is able to tell her again. In the early hours of the morning, uniformed response PCs Duffy and Davies have been called to a car accident on a busy main road.
There's been an accident on the A4, and it appears that one of the vehicles has actually driven off, and the guy in the CCTV office has said that it was pretty smashed up. Also, we'll go along, have a look, see what we can find.
With wreckage scattered all over the road and the car smashed against a tree. This is not a run-of-the-mill accident.
I've never seen anything like it, to be honest. I mean, I've seen some crashes in my time, but this is probably in about the top 5.
The driver and passengers have run away, but from what a witness has said, it looks like 2 cars were racing each other with potentially disastrous consequences.
I mean, if anyone was sitting there, they would have serious injuries. I'm surprised that they're not still in the car. I mean, as you can see, that it's just gone right through. Dangers of speeding and racing. I mean, it's quite, late in the morning as well, and this is such a busy road. loads of accidents on this road, and it's just stupidity, pure stupidity.
With the fire brigade turning up to check out any danger of fire, another police officer has found a trail of even more wreckage.
There's bits of it in there.
In the park?
There's bits of car in the park.
Right. Bloody hell, look! Look! It's like a never-ending trail, isn't it?
While the car is made safe, PC Duffy is trying to build up a picture of what has happened.
Tell me what your witness said about the car flipping round.
Yeah, he saw it spinning in the air and then catching fire.
That car there.
That car there.
And how many people were in that car? 3?
He doesn't know how many were in the car.
Right.
He saw 3 people, 2 IC1 males,
Yeah.
1 IC1 female.
And the female was covered in blood?
The female had blood on her hands.
On her hands, right, okay.
Third car.
There's a third car.
Third car.
Yeah.
The front of the bumper and all the car with a number plate on it, it's up there. So it's
Of the third car?
the third car. Whole front of it's off with a number plate on it.
Retracing the route back from the accident, they discover even more damage.
They've lost control, mounted the pavement here, skidded all the way along here and then ended up down there. And they just seem to have hit everything as they've gone down, and the car has ended up where it is. Look.
Is this here?
This is it, yeah, because it's gone all along that way. Yeah, look, you can see where it's gone here.
From where it's standing, really. It's gone.
And then hit the back of the railing.
As the clearing up of the wreckage gets underway, whoever the drivers of the vehicles are, they're going to have to face a lot more questions when they're found.
Definitely dangerous driving, especially when witnesses have said that they appeared to be racing each other. And just from the state of the car that it was in, it would have, taken great speed to have caused all of that damage. And it's a lot of damage, criminal damage side of it as well. Obviously the fencing, the trees and the lampposts. So there are lots of offences involved. We just need to find the culprits for it.
Coming up, the drug squad raid the house of a suspected drug trafficker.
We're from the drug squad at Fulham. We have a warrant here to search your house. I think the game's up, boys, don't you?
And the borough cops come down hard on a taxi driver without a licence.
You can't let me go, can't you? I mean,
With 9 points on your licence, I've got no intention of letting you go.
Within its 6 square miles, the West London Borough of Hammersmith and Fulham relies on its dedicated public transport system and licensed taxi cabs to keep things running smoothly. But with 75,000 licensed taxis in the London area, the borough's police are quick to check out any taxi driver who puts a foot wrong. Officers Paul Davies and Chris Butler have stopped a taxi for running a red light, but the driver seems to think he had a good reason.
obviously I had to kill you on the road. There's nobody on the road.
It doesn't matter if there's nobody on the road or not, you've still got to obey the lights.
As he's cautioned, the driver realises that excuses won't help, so he goes on the defensive, claiming that the light wasn't red.
To be honest, I went through amber. I've seen it as amber.
I'm going to write on here, I went through amber, so let's write it on here. That's what you're saying to me. There's going to be a conflict in our statements because I saw you go through a red. Quite clearly saw you go through a red. I know what I saw, okay, and I know the physical state that I see you in.
The cop's attention is drawn to the fact that the man looks like he hasn't slept in days.
I could still run half a mile without stopping.
It's not like how much sleep have you had in the last few days?
I mean, I had enough sleep.
Tiredness is said to be responsible for 20% of all accidents on Britain's roads. 6 people a week die as a result of drivers falling asleep at the wheel. So for the cops, this is a serious business. Next, the driver tells the police he already has 9 points on his licence.
Okay, do you understand that if I go through a red traffic light signal, it's 3 points. If you've got 9 already, totting up procedure that goes with driving licences, means that if I was to issue you with a fixed penalty notice now, it would put you to a ban. Could I ask you to do a driving licence check, please, to see how many points are concurrent over?
Had 2 previous for drink or drug driving. Current points on licence 9. Over.
Fantastic, thank you. In that case, he's going to get reported because totting up is going to take him to 12. Many thanks, over.
On checking the police database, officers discover more.
It's saying that his licence was revoked in November of last year.
Why did he take my licence, do you know?
No idea. But
as far as I'm concerned,
I'm trying to ascertain as to whether or not you're driving whilst disqualified or you're driving otherwise in accordance with a licence. If you're driving whilst disqualified, that makes you arrestable.
yes, I know. You can't let me go, can't you? I mean,
With 9 points on your licence, I've got no intention of letting you go.
Having got the full story from Police HQ, PC Davies delivers more bad news to the driver.
In the eyes of the DVLA, you have no driving licence. Bottom line is, you ain't driving. Okay, so what I want you to do now is I need you to call your office. They need to come along here and pick this vehicle up. It was a stop that we didn't necessarily understand it was going to turn into that. First case, we thought it was just going to be a case of a driver going through a set of red traffic lights, and then suddenly you find out a little bit more. And the general public need to be aware that we have access to all sorts of information regarding insurance, driving licences, and if they're driving on invalid insurance or driving without a valid driving licence, we're going to find out.
On the other side of the borough, officers Martin Warnes and Ricky Brennan have noticed something suspicious in a park that's been locked for the night.
Good evening, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I've just come to find out what you're doing here this time of the evening.
Oh, I only live just down the road and we just come in because I wanted to play on the swings.
You wanted to play on the swings?
Yeah.
How old are you? Really?
Yeah.
But nothing gets past the keen-eyed PC Warnes.
We have a lot of people that come in here to smoke cannabis and stuff like that. Do either of you two smoke, or have you been smoking cannabis at all?
Not at all.
Okay. The reason I ask is there's giant Rizzler paper, which is, you know,
No, that's
bit there.
absolutely
There's
nothing
some
to do
underneath.
with us.
Even though they claim they don't smoke cannabis, it's the cops' duty to delve deeper.
What I'm going to do is detain both of you for the purposes of search for drugs.
And as PC Warnes begins to search the man, he comes clean.
Okay, what's in your pocket? You've got some cannabis with you, okay?
Your friend here was lying to us. Have you got anything you want to tell us before we search you?
No.
No more drugs are found on either person, so a cannabis warning is issued.
You have to answer some questions and you have to agree to accept a warning, okay?
Then the cops use the opportunity to gather some intelligence about drug use in the area.
Who's it for?
Nothing.
How much did you pay for it?
£20.
This is an area known to me as people using drugs here. The gentleman admitted to me that he had on his inside pocket a small amount of herbal cannabis. So we've seized that from him. Another crime cleared up in Hammersmith.
The American heavy metal band Slipknot is doing a gig at the Apollo Theatre. Officers from Hammersmith and Fulham's Uniformed Response Unit have been called to check out reports of scuffles between security guards and illegal poster sellers.
See the security staff all wearing their balaclavas and these street traders down the far end selling obviously hockey merchandise for Slipknot. I think the security staff don't like that, so they've decided that they're going to have a fight with half of them.
And it's not long before another scuffle kicks off.
Who did that? Who did that, bud?
One of them, like, yeah.
Why's that?
I'll show you which one.
Why's that? First of all, tell us why first, mate.
Assault.
Tell us why.
For no reason at all.
Come on, mate, that's what you get doing.
The man claims he's been attacked.
I'm a drafter, yeah, right, yeah. They took my posters, yeah, and they took me in my mouth.
The man is claiming that the security guards have assaulted him and taken his posters.
Just point out to us who did it and we'll have a little word.
He is then asked to try and identify his attacker, but not surprisingly, they're nowhere to be seen.
I would suggest that he could identify him. knowing full well he was a legal street trader, he took it in the best interest, so he wasn't best to pursue the allegation, and he made his way home.
And as the crowds make their way home, the selling of illegal posters is all part of the scene.
It's like a poster inside. They're selling it for £1 outside here. The band tied the security to stop the vendors selling illegal merchandise. Bit of fisticuffs. Civil matter, really. It's not good. I don't think it should happen, to be honest with you, but it's a bit of fisticuffs over nothing, really. It's over a poster.
It's the early hours of the morning, and PC's Justin Downs and Martin Warnes of Team 4 have just spotted a suspicious car which the National Police computer has flashed up as having no insurance.
Holy stroud. Good evening, sir. Is this your car, is it? It's not. Who does it belong to?
The man is claiming that the car belongs to an associate, and he needs it to take his sick dog to the vet.
Shush you. He's a big one, isn't he?
As PC Downs is questioning the man, PC Warnes is more interested in the car's tyres.
Can you put your steering all full lock towards the curb, please?
OK. The reason you've been stopped, we've done a check of the vehicles, come back showing there's no insurance policy on the vehicle at all.
I see.
So that's the reason why we've been stopped, OK?
I see. I wasn't aware of that.
So far, the man feels that he hasn't done anything wrong, as he has insurance policies on 4 other cars.
I have my own insurance
for
all my vehicles, which I can verify.
Makes a difference. If the vehicle doesn't have in place third-party insurance on a road, the vehicle, not the driver, the vehicle, then you commit an offence of driving.
So he has no insurance at all on the vehicle?
No.
He's also got defective tyre and no tax.
I appreciate, quite often if you've got your own vehicle, most people's policies allow them to drive other vehicles, third party, but there needs to be a policy in relation to the actual vehicle you're driving as well. Basically, where I go from here is that we have to seize the vehicle if there's no insurance policy in relation to it.
Beg your pardon?
We have to seize the vehicle.
While the man is in a state of shock about having the vehicle seized, PC Warnes has decided to look under the bonnet of the car.
See if your battery's not secured in. Alright.
Listen,
your vehicle's in a dangerous condition.
I borrowed this vehicle. I appreciate that I'm in breach of certain codes, certain road safety awareness, but I haven't popped the bonnet. I didn't realise it's under there. So
down to you as the driver, though, isn't it? If you choose to drive a car, it's your responsibility to check it's in roadworthy condition.
But the night's not over yet for this man. PC Warnes has no option but to give him further bad news.
Basically, what's going to happen is we're going to seize the vehicle because it hasn't got in place some insurance on it. That also means you get reported for not having any insurance.
I'm going to get in trouble.
You are, yes. You're also going to get in trouble for driving with a defective tyre, driving the vehicle in dangerous condition.
Oh, please, is this... Come on, mate. I'm just trying to get home my fucking dog. And I'm getting for this, for that, for this.
There's no need to get upset about it.
There's a big need to get upset.
But the man is upset, and he can't understand why this is all happening.
Is it really necessary to give me 9 points or 10 points or...
You can't get that many points. At the moment, the vehicle is being seized and you are going to be reported for summons.
With his car being seized, the man has to get his dog and passenger home by public transport. As dawn breaks over Hammersmith Police Station, Sergeant Simon Rogers briefs members of the drug squad and the territorial support group about a drugs raid. PSG silently make their way to the suspect's house. Once outside, the silence stops. When these boys go in, they go in hard and noisily. The entry is fast. Everyone inside the house is taken completely by surprise.
We're from the drug squad at Fulham. We have a warrant here to search your house. Sounds like somebody's armed themselves with a lock knife.
Room by room, the house is cleared and the suspects are counted.
I think the game's up, boys, don't you?
Coming up, the drug squad finds an Aladdin's cave full of high-priced equipment allegedly bought with drug money. And a driver who gets caught out by CCTV.
If you're telling me you can't remember, I think that you need an ambulance because you might have concussion.
Within the densely populated West London borough of Hammersmith and Fulham, wealth rubs shoulders with poverty and drug addiction. And between those two extremes, the fight against crime falls on the shoulders of the borough's elite police squads. It's early morning and members of the Territorial Support Group and the borough's drug squad are on a drug raid.
We're from the drug squad at Fulham. We have a warrant here to search your house. I think the game's up, boys, don't you?
The entry is so fast that they've caught everyone in the house.
Right, well, we've got the full complement. That's nice, isn't it?
Also going in with the drug squad are members of the Met's Payback Unit.
We know from research that drug dealers take our prison sentences as occupational risks in the trade. But what really hurts them is financial impact, and the Proceeds of Crime Act of this operation is based on where we're actually looking to take away the proceeds of that crime, which can be hundreds of thousands of pounds. Really hurts their business.
I mean, you can see from here that we've got a large plasma screen in what would appear to be the front room. Well, I mean, early suggestions indicate the proceeds of crime. Fairly decent, expensive looking items.
And upstairs in the bedrooms are more and more goodies.
Again, another flat screen TV, worth, I don't know, 800, maybe £1,000. You've got music mixing kit, flat screen, speakers and all the rest of it. Again, an indication of the sort of lifestyle that these people are leading.
While the dog is doing its search, Sergeant Rogers brings the suspects down to hear what a member of the anti-fraud benefits team has to say.
Just come in and take a seat. There's a couple of things that I want to say. We've uncovered stuff, information, evidence, intelligence that suggests you're involved with benefit fraud.
I'm from the local authority. I'm from the corporate anti-fraud team there. We're aware that benefits are being claimed from this address on the basis that the people living here have no income. And what I've seen that's been found at the property today, it appears to me that people here do have income and have more than has been declared, and that is benefit fraud.
Okay, mate, obviously you've heard what this gentleman's had to say. Given that I've been given that information, I'm arresting you on suspicion of benefit fraud, okay? We'll stand up for it.
As the suspects are taken away, the investigation is just beginning for all the agencies involved. Fulham FC has always been known as a family club, and when supporters complain that some people have been seen taking drugs on the terraces, Hammersmith and Fulham's Borough Police come down hard. In this operation, members of the specialist drug and alcohol team known as DAT are not only targeting suspected drug users, but also handing out leaflets warning about the dangers of drug abuse.
These two guys.
Like a well-oiled machine, the dogs go in and search for anyone who might have drugs on them, and the squad's officers pull them out.
Sir, come with me, please. Thank you. Drug dogs indicated you may have something on you. Just lay your hands together for me, please. Lay your hands together. That's great. Thanks. Come over here, please. Because the drugs dog has indicated that you may have an illegal substance on you, what's going to happen? You're going to be searched on the Misuse of Drugs Act.
Do you take drugs? No. You've been in contact with drugs? No, that's not a good sign. That's usually yes or no.
But not everyone is sure why they've been pulled out.
Sometimes dog will indicate in people who are perfectly innocent, but you may have had contact with drugs, okay, and that can come off on you, and the dog picks that up. They're very, very sensitive. The only other thing I would say is if you have had any contact with drugs, we do have our scheme where we can give you some information regarding drugs use, side effects, and you can take that away with you. You don't have to have it, it's up to you. Would you like a pack? No, that's fine, that's okay.
More and more people are being picked out by the dogs. As kick-off approaches, the fans are swarming in and the stop and search intensifies.
So far, one arrest made, They've gone off for a block of resinous cannabis. They've gone off now. We're going to continue. Many seizures have been made, and we're going to carry on with that at the moment and just see what the dogs indicate.
One of the dogs has hit on a suspected Class A drug carrier.
Gentleman's come up. It's having a quantity of what we believe to be a Class A drug on him. So the officers, just at the end there, are now dealing with that, and he's going to be taken into custody and arrested.
With the game just getting underway, this man has no further use for his ticket. And for the police, it's been a successful operation.
Thus far, we've had two, possibly a third arrest, one for Class A and one for Class B drugs. It just shows the perseverance and good work. Hope comes through in the end.
Across the other side of the borough, PC's James Franklin and Chris Hayes have spotted a car which has aroused their suspicion.
What we've done, the car behind us there, sort of loitering around that area. That's an area where we get a lot of motor vehicle crime and things along that sort of line. Do a check on it, just see what's happening. It has flashed up that the driver, that there's no insurance held on the vehicle.
Approaching the vehicle, they see that there's a man and a woman inside the car. When questioned about his insurance, the driver is only too pleased to show his documents.
Yeah? Let them aware that the car belongs to
my wife. Mine's continuing, but I have my own insurance in my wife's car.
Right. Are you insured on another car then?
Yeah. What's the vehicle registration of the car you're insured on?
It's a Volkswagen.
What's the registration mark?
But the man appears to have forgotten his car registration number.
It's a R. It's a Volkswagen.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what it is. I need the registration mark, or I need to talk to your wife.
My wife. She's at home.
Oh, is she? Right.
While the man is waiting for his wife to get the registration number, PC Hayes wants to know if he's ever been in trouble with the police before.
Have you ever been stopped by police, arrested by police before? What was that all about?
We'll find out anyway, I'll check, so you don't have to tell us, we'll find out.
As they wait for the police computer to check out his insurance details, PC Franklin discovers something disturbing about the man.
Excuse me, what's your name, please? What's your name, please? Sorry? Right, you're breaching your bail conditions, aren't you?
We just met here, we're just talking.
No. Stand there with my colleague. You've breached your bail conditions, haven't you?
We just met.
What do you mean you just met?
The man has a court order not to contact a certain woman, and that woman is the passenger in the car.
You have bail conditions not to meet directly or indirectly this lady.
But I've not, you know me, she just met me here, and that's why we've not been nowhere.
Well, you've met her. You're not to contact her directly or indirectly.
But the man doesn't seem to understand what the policeman's saying.
He said he wants to meet you here.
I never said I wanted.
Yes?
You said you were.
No, excuse me. I'm talking to her, OK? If you could be quiet, that'd be lovely. He has asked you to meet him here. That's received. I found him with this lady. He's arranged to meet her and come and see her. Could you find out if he is arrestable for breaching these bail conditions, please?
Checking with central control on the bail conditions, PC Franklin has no alternative but to arrest the man.
Come on, come with me.
No,
come with me and sit.
Excuse me 1 second.
No.
You
can't come in.
No, but...
Come with me. Come on.
No.
Your bail conditions are you're not to see her, OK? So I'm arresting you for breaching your bail conditions, OK? All right?
Back at the station, what started as a routine inquiry into a car without insurance has ended with the driver being arrested for allegedly breaking his bail conditions. Later that night, PC's Alison Parr and Andrew Moore have received a call out to attend an RTC, a road traffic collision.
The LAS have requested police attendance. A car's driven into a wall and there are 2 casualties.
On arriving at the scene, it looks like a car has slammed into a brick wall.
I was just coming from that side. I was like, wow,
I couldn't hit the guy when I just
Stand by, unit now, please to do immediate response. 122 122.
So far, it looks like the driver had to take avoiding action to miss a vehicle that had cut in front of him.
Car in front of you.
Yeah. And suddenly the car was going there, and suddenly.
Going where?
I have no idea what happened.
Okay.
I was going straight on.
Yeah, you're going straight on. Yeah.
The car suddenly going there, going straight, yeah? And suddenly the last minute just turned aside.
The first thing the team have to do is see if the man has been drinking.
Okay, so what you're going to ask you to do is just to blow into this tube. It's one long breath, about 2 seconds. Don't breathe in, just carry on blowing until I tell you to stop, okay? All right, if you just want to take a deep breath in, see around, carry on blowing, carry on blowing, carry on blowing, carry on blowing, carry on, okay? Okay, it's just analysing it now. Yeah, 0, yeah, that's great.
The man passes the breath test, but PC Moore is not entirely happy with the man's story or his claim that he was only driving at a slow speed.
He's saying the van has at last minute indicated turn right. He's had to take avoiding action. So what I'm presuming is that he was following too close, has hit his brakes, and somehow ended up coming across the road into the wall.
But if the van was turning right, why didn't he go into the van?
He would have got out of the way. He should have been in over there.
That's more than a 30-mile-an-hour crash.
Oh, God, yeah.
So it's speeding.
Still not sure what has happened, PC Moore decides to photograph the car as evidence.
I'm not saying he's a liar, but if he was to take avoiding action, the natural thing would be to go up the left-hand side, up the inside of the van, carrying on his own side of the carriageway. He's also said that he was travelling at about 20 to 30 miles an hour. Given the frontal impact and the damage caused to that car, I very much doubt that's true.
To investigate the story further, another officer has gone to check out any skid marks and also to see if a local garage has any CCTV. As PC Moore goes to pick him up, he has some surprising news.
We just saw the CCTV.
Yeah.
It's good.
Is it?
Yeah. Basically, as the van, there is a white van.
Yeah.
He comes around the corner, passing the BP, he's overtaking the van. I think as he's overtaking the van, he's seen someone coming the other way and he's had to dive out of the way. And that's why he hit the wall. And he was shooting down that hill.
And it shows that?
Yeah.
Back at the scene of the accident, PC Moore cautions the man for dangerous driving.
You've told us one thing, okay, and we've subsequently found CCTV that shows another. That to me tells me that you're lying, okay, about what you were doing. If you're telling me you can't remember, I think that you need an ambulance because you might have concussion. Alright? That's not the case because you've been perfectly compass mentis with us and Sixt on the phone arranging a new car and recovery very, very swiftly. So what happened? It's a simple question.
I have no idea, sir. And that time I get confused and I just go straight to the way I was.
But confused or not, CCTV has caught this man out. Coming up, a suspected disabled parking badge thief who doesn't want to talk to the police.
Open the door for us, please. I can't really speak to you through a door.
And a fight in the pub, but who hit who?
He never hit a bottle in a
Yeah,
fight.
look,
Look at him again. Hey, mate, get him.
The West London borough of Hammersmith and Fulham is one of the most densely populated areas in Britain, and it's no surprise that parking is at a premium. And abuse or theft of a parking permit is a serious offence. While patrolling a large West London estate, PC's Karina Endersby and John Sheehan have been called to assist a parking enforcement officer. She's noticed that a parked car is displaying a stolen disabled parking badge.
Are they all the list of stolen things?
Yes, this is our list of stolen ones. It was stolen, reported on the 6th of 11th.
PC Endersby has found that the car is registered to a nearby address.
It's police. The police. Sorry? The police. Can you come and open the door, please?
It seems that the occupant does not want to come to the door.
Open the door for us, please. I can't really speak to you through a door.
Karina. Hi, whose car is that? The Beetle there.
It's my why?
Because there's a stolen item inside the car.
Oh my God.
That's why I need to speak to you.
No, I'm not. Can you wait? Can you come back then?
No, well, I'm not going to come back because
I've got to get my son from school. There's no
give
way
me
I
a
can
second.
talk.
Okay, come inside, or at least my female
Not at the
officer.
moment, no. Sorry, I've got to get my son. I've got to get dressed once. If you
Right.
can give me an hour,
Carly,
you can
Carly,
come back.
listen. There's obviously an offence here. We have the power to come in and make sure she isn't inside. So if you don't let us in, we're going to come in. All right?
Yes,
Yeah, you go. And that's why I did suggest, but you didn't want that.
Sit on my foot, please. Can you wait a minute? Because I'm not dressed and I've got...
I'm waiting here. But I don't want one colleague on her own in there. I don't want
The woman seems determined not to let PC Sheehan into the house.
Can you come back? If you come back in an hour, I can give you all the information you want. But my son, I've got to pick him up from school and no one else to get him. We'll just take the car.
We need a photographic ID to prove that who you are.
It at the moment, so
Nothing at all. Not even a bank card. Okay, we need to take all your details.
Can I? Not now. Can you
It is
explain
now.
what I just said? If you don't mind, I'm on my period here
Okay.
and I want to get in the bath.
Okay.
All right?
Right, but you got to understand.
Yeah, I do.
Something's been stolen. It's inside the car.
Well, we don't really.
We don't know who you are. That's fine.
Rude, but I want to get back in the bath now.
Quickly, and what's your first name?
God's sake.
The quicker you do it, the quicker we leave.
Although she at first denied being the owner of the car, the woman eventually admits it's hers.
Do you have the keys for the vehicle? Because if we can't get that thing out, we have to seize the vehicle. Will you get this sorted now, or will you have to come with us?
Can you not just wait 20 minutes?
No, it doesn't work like that.
With the woman still seemingly resisting efforts to come out and talk, PC Sheehan calls for backup.
Do you drive that vehicle? Yes. Right, well then you are under arrest for handling stolen goods. So what I'm now doing is I'm lawfully in this
All right, I'm sorry. Can I
I'm letting you get dressed.
I need to my lunettes, please. Can you let me
That's
get
fine.
dressed?
You can go in there and get them.
Another unit arrives and a female officer goes in to try and help calm the woman down.
She's naked, can you? Yes. This is Karina. Hi, you right?
At last, PC Sheehan has the car's keys and retrieves the parking badge.
Clearly that's not the lady that's in there. And it's not the register keeper either. Very valuable, these, aren't they?
Yeah.
Not anywhere you want.
Finally, they manage to get the woman out of the house and it's straight down the nick for her. With over 1,000 licensed premises, the borough of Hammersmith and Fulham is a magnet for people who come to have a drink and a good time. But sometimes, where there's alcohol, there's also violence. Officers of Uniformed Response Team 1 are nearing the end of their shift, when suddenly they get a call to an incident at a pub. When they arrive, there's a large group of people all claiming to have been assaulted.
What's going on? Hey! Who's done it? Come over here. Who smashed the door? Huh? Who smashed the door? The people in the pub.
It looks like a window to the pub has been smashed, but that's the only sure fact in this case.
Hang on. So who are you saying punched you?
The one that's been arrested. He's the fucking woman beater there. That one there. Look.
He didn't punch me.
This
He
one in
didn't
the
punch me.
fucking middle.
It seems that one of the women in the group has allegedly been assaulted, but who did what and to whom is getting more difficult to ascertain.
Look at you, look! Walking away and saying something. Yeah, go on. Good, good.
One man who's allegedly been involved is now claiming to be their best friend.
I'm friends with these. I was talking to these all night. I was talking to these. I was talking to these all night.
Come and look at her face.
He never hit a bottle in her face.
Why the fuck do you think we was going off on one?
What did I do it? Look.
For a laugh.
He hit a fist in my face and don't tell me otherwise.
With the women arguing about who hit whom, the officers are equally confused as to what had happened. There is only one thing to do.
Listen, for the time being, we're all coming in. All right? All of us? Yeah, yeah.
But even as they're being arrested and cuffed, the girls are still kicking off as to who hit who.
Look at him, look! Look at him again! Mate, get him!
Get her now! Get her now! Stop what I've done! Get
As the whole group are being arrested and put into vans, one girl still seems to want the final word. But suddenly, there seems to be a witness who says that he saw the whole thing.
She came in fucking lamping everyone and the guys were behind her. We got them out, I had to shut the door, lock the door and then...
Yeah, we're done, yeah?
Two of our CID officers were driving down the road and they've gone past the pub, and on going past the pub they've seen the ruckus that's going on in the doorway, and an allegation's been made to us that one of the girls has been assaulted with a bottle. I've gone into the pub, identified the suspect from the description given, and he's been arrested for assaulting her. Once we've made further inquiries, we've found out that the girl who had been assaulted was assaulted after assaulting someone else, so she's also been arrested for assault. So again, complicated one that we've got to try and sort out.
Coming up on Brit Cops Zero Tolerance, the series. On patrol with the Met Police, some of the most elite crime-fighting squads in the country. We're with the robbery unit as they take on the thieves. And gangs. We follow the rapid response teams as they put their lives on the line. And take on violent criminals. And we're out with West London's drug squad as they take down the dealers. Our cameras capture all the action as these cops capture the criminals.